No Rest for the Weekend's coverage of the Tribeca Film Festival is sponsored by Black Magic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. blackmagicdesign.com, and by the Tonkawa Film Festival, celebrating short films from around the world. tonkawafilmfestival.com.
Now, prior to this, I think the last film you did was Gilbert, is that correct? So will you ever do a film not about comedians after this?
When you make something about someone that's funny, which my first two films were about Dan Harmon and Wayne White, and they're funny people, they assume I'm funny. And so yes, probably, because that seems to be what I've been tagged with, but I'm open to sports and rock and roll and other stories.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, funny sports and funny rock and roll?
Only if they're funny, yeah. Weird Al Yankovic, and yeah.
Yeah, we'll get Tenacious D on the phone.
Yeah.
Now, on the tip sheet, Neil Patrick Harris is listed as actor and comedian. I think that's thanks to you. Did you open a new door for this man?
Honestly, it's a side of him that I've never seen before. It is really cool. Like, usually he's the subject of these things. In this, he's the host of the night, of the thing, and the moderator. He's amazing. Like, he just kind of guided everyone through this really wonderful conversation.
Was there a Doogie Howser, MD, inspiration behind this?
Yeah, there's a little fanboy there, yeah. I was thrilled to see him on the call sheet.
Now, you partnered with Heartbeat Productions for this film. Did they enable you to get some of the access that you were looking for with these comedians? Did you hand select them, or did they help with that process?
They helped endlessly. I mean, they're the reason we got, Kevin Hart comes with a lot of cachet. And just that name alone got people like Gary to say, to trust us, to trust that we would honor their story and be faithful to it.
What was your initial reaction when you were invited to be part of this conversation on the intersection of mental health and comedy?
Yeah, I said, oh, they finally did it. They got the 6 most mentally ill comedians to come together to Atlanta to pour their hearts out. We're going to get exposed. But no, I was really stoked that I got to be with my fellow comedians whom I really love, friends and colleagues. And that's what draws me to a project is the people. And then, it's a topic that I'm a huge advocate of. I've talked about it in the past. My mom has mental illnesses. She has schizophrenia. And it's something I've seen her suffer through all my life. And so, I was glad that we were going to be able to show different aspects of our lives as comedians, not just the ones that are clowns and make you laugh.
You get contacted by the casting director. It says, hey, we're making this film about the intersection of mental health and stand-up comedy. Do you want to be involved? What is your initial reaction?
My initial reaction is, we are in a strike. You mean you're paying me to be on camera with my peers and talk about myself? Yes, please. That is literally the reaction.
There was no anger or like, wait, why do you think I have something to speak about that?
Honestly, no, because I believe every comedian is mentally ill. So I don't think we're like the most mentally ill ones. We're just like the coolest and fun ones. But every single comedian in the world is mentally ill. To want to go on stage and say, hey, strangers, not only do I want you to like me, I want you to laugh at me. That is weird. We're all weird. So I don't take offense.
I know that in America, we have a very America-centric view about the way we view health, public health, mental health. What would this film look like if it were made in England?
It wouldn't need to be made because we have free healthcare in England, which means that if people are ill, they can get the resources they need for free. So we wouldn't need this in England.
Do you think they would be as forthcoming and as admitting about how they're feeling?
No, Brit, we don't know. We don't talk about our business. No, we don't do that. No. Our motto is keep calm and carry on. So no. If this wouldn't exist, honestly, there would be no film about stand-ups in the UK openly talking about mental health. No one would want to do it. And they wouldn't need to because we have free healthcare. America, get it together.
Thank you for that. Do you hope that anyone back home who sees the film will think that these conversations can be more open amongst their peers?
I do. I hope that I change the whole world based on what I said in this documentary. I talk a lot about the British comedy scene, and can I swear?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna piss some people off. I'm not gonna lie. Piss is a swear word in England, so I'm gonna ruffle a few feathers. But I didn't lie. There's nothing that I said that wasn't true, and they might not like to hear the truth. but it is the truth. So I'm happy I got to say it. I'm happy I'm in the position that I can talk about what's wrong with the UK comedy scene, in the UK entertainment scene, in terms of racism and sexism. And I'm lucky that I live in America and I have amazing people in my life like Heartbeat and all these amazing comedians that have given me this platform that I can shine a light on what's going on to help all my friends back in the UK. Because women are funny and women of colour are funny. And England, I'm not sure, realises that yet, which is why I live in America. So, I'm just glad I got to tell my story.
Now, did you meet anyone on this film set that has become a lifelong friend?
Honestly, everyone here is... I knew everybody before. Because we're comics, we're colleagues. But getting to know these people... they're all lifelong friends. I knew Atsuko before and Nicole Byer before. We'd hang out and partied before. Tig, I was experiencing Tig for the first time and I bloody loved it. And this guy, Gary, and Mike. And so, I feel like I know too much of their business now. I know their deepest, darkest secrets. Like, we might as well get married. Like, I'm in the family now. So, lifelong friends.
Neil Patrick Harris isn't already an ordained minister. He needs to be one and marry all of you.
Spoken about Neil. He's so sexy. Oh my God. So I was starstruck when he walked on and I kept flirting with him and forgetting that he was gay because he's so charming. And I kind of didn't want to talk about I'm like, don't ask me about me, Neil. Neil, stop it.
Oh my God. No, I can't tell you that.
Tell you about my anxiety. Yeah. So he's great. He's great.
Your inclusion in the film, the admissions you make in the therapy session, they're not especially revelatory as a guy who puts out a special called The Great Depression. But what did you feel you brought to the authenticity of allowing the others to admit their struggles or their understanding of mental health?
I think it was something that I felt when I would go to literal group therapy, not filmed, but with a group of people who all we had in common was that we were hugely depressed and or anxious, and yet that was so much to be able to have that knowledge and understanding, and I think people are understanding of it. A lot of people are, but a lot of people don't understand it. They don't know what we've gone through, and so to be with some people who've been through it, that was very helpful. So when I feel like when I go to those group therapy meetings, there are some people who feel like, oh, I don't belong here, I'm not that sick. And then there are other people who, like me, I'm like, I'm really sick. I hope I don't freak these people out. So I think in some places I felt like, oh, I've really been through it and that I was hospitalized, and so maybe it'll make these people feel less anxious about sharing something that maybe they didn't want to share, because look, Gary Gulman talked about being in the bug house. So
right.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you moved back to your hometown and into the house where subsequently your mother happens to be. And you found a great space where you can work through a lot of your new material, and you're getting good feedback from the audience.
Yeah.
What was it like doing this film and getting feedback from people who do what you do with other comedians?
I think sometimes you worry that your work is not appreciated by your peers, or that your peers are dismissive of what you do. I mean, it's the whole imposter syndrome that a lot of performers feel, and especially people who are depressed and anxious. So it was really nice just to get some positive feedback and to make these people who have made me laugh so much, to make them laugh. And that was really reassuring and reinforced sort of my idea that my special was not just for people suffering, but also that people who understand comedy could enjoy it too, which is always part of my intentions, is that comedians think it's quality work, which is kind of sad, but also probably human.
The film makes a lot of statements on its own, but if you were to supplement that with a statement of your own about the way people are viewing their mental health and the peaks and valleys of it, what nugget of truth would you take away from this?
I mean, two things I always think about is that you're not alone with this, and you shouldn't. And if you feel you are alone, just open up about it, and you'll see how common it is, and whether it's the person directly or somebody's son, daughter, or parent or loved one, or just themselves, they've experienced it, and they're much more forgiving. And I also think some people are afraid they'll lose friendships or connections by freaking people out, but in a lot of cases, it's the opposite, and your relationships become deeper and stronger. So I would say most of us have tried keeping it to ourselves, and that doesn't work. So try opening up about it. It was dramatically helpful for me.
This is the BTRP Media Network.